Skip it up and that up. Delicious iced coffee on a Saturday afternoon presents. You have to use 2 of these to make the iced coffee at 4 ounces each to make it strong enough, or else the ice dilutes it too much and it tastes like piss water. So, wondering why I have 2 K-cups, that's why. Anyway, after I'm done making this iced coffee and it brews, I'll turn the camera back on. So there's the epic caffeinated deliciousness. I already drank a quarter of it. So anyway, topic of the video. Basically, you guys remember I had upgraded my main video editing / gaming rig. I went to a 6-core Phenom 2 1045T, and I also upgraded to 16 gigabytes of RAM. I put the old processor, my quad-core Phenom 2, in the 6-core box, and I put the 8 gigs of RAM in the 16 gigabyte RAM box. So that's why you're seeing these boxes. None of these boxes, minus the motherboard, represent what's actually inside them. But I was going to sell the parts on eBay, but eBay can bite me. For 4 years, maybe even 5, I had a flawless track record with eBay. Everyone who bought from me had, they got their items on time. They were exactly as described. I never had any negative feedback on eBay. So I was looking to get rid of some stuff because I had shit laying around. And I had a Samsung Intercept. It's a really crappy Android phone. The phone sucks, but it's just known the phone sucks. And whatever. There was nothing wrong with it. I had it for a year. You could barely make phone calls with the thing because it was so laggy. Like if someone called you, when you hit the talk button, by the time that it actually accepted your input, the person would hang up the phone. Anyway, besides the point. So I sold it on eBay, took pictures of it, showed the phone working in the pictures, said the phone was working. I knew the phone was working. I tested it before I sent it out. And I mailed it or shipped it to the buyer. He gets the phone, and according to him, it was dead. Yeah. And on top of it, too, I knew it wasn't shipping because unless someone dropped a UPS truck on the box, there was no way that phone was getting damaged the way I packaged it. That's why I packaged things like that so things like this didn't happen. He could have kicked it around. The UPS guy could have kicked it around a field like a football, okay? And nothing would have happened to that phone. So I said to the guy, I said, look, I said, write my thing. I offer no warranties. The phone's as is, which it was working. Like I said, it was working. As you see from my track record, I don't sell broken crap. I have 100% positive feedback. I'm sorry, I don't know what you did to the phone, whatever. So he contacts eBay, he leaves me negative feedback, I get 10% off. I go from 100 to like a 91 or a 90 on my eBay account. So I had to go talk to eBay. It ended up that we both got our money back because eBay's like, oh wow, you took a lot of pictures. This phone looked like it was in good shape. I'm like, yeah, it was in good shape. It was fine. I still got the phone back to me. And just to prove even more that he either plugged a bad power supply into it or whatever. Maybe he plugged into his computer and the USB port was screwed up and it sent the wrong voltage to the phone. Phone didn't have a scratch on it. So the jackass obviously did something to it. Anyway, I went on long enough. Long story short, I don't trust selling stuff on eBay, especially computer parts, because if someone's building a rig and doesn't know what they're doing, and the pins on the AMD processors are very fragile, and they end up putting the processor in wrong, which almost is impossible to do, but if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they could damage it. Then it goes to he said, she said, or he said, and you have to defend yourself, and the person's like, hey, you sold me a broken part, and honestly, it's probably just the guy didn't know how the hell to install the stuff, so it's not worth it. I'm not selling it. Long story short, even though the story was long, hope you're enjoying the jiggly camera, I decided that I have 600 watt power supply. Don't mind the box. It's a 600 watt power supply. I believe it's Corsair. I'll take it out and show it to you. I have the power supply, have 8 gigabytes of RAM, have a 320 gigabyte SATA hard drive, and I have a 4-core processor. The box almost tricked me. It's the Phenom 2 X4970. All I needed to buy was a case and a motherboard. And that's what I did. So let's go through the parts and I'll tell you what I got. So we'll start with the motherboard. I got an ASRock, the N68C-GS. It means there's graphics on it, FX. Cool motherboard. Basically ASRock is entry-level ASUS. I'm pretty positive of that. It'll accept 8-core processors, the FX processors, the Bulldozer. I even think it'll do Piledriver too. Catch with this motherboard though, and it was just, I bought it because it was got decent reviews and it was cheap. You can only use DDR3 1333 max without overclocking, so that's kind of a bottleneck of it. But it's cool though if I ever want to upgrade to, either getting so cheap now, the 8-core FX chips, I could upgrade to that. It has built-in video. It has an NVIDIA chipset on here. NVIDIA GeForce 725 would be. You could barely play Half-Life 2 on that at like low settings at 25 frames a second. But it has DVI and VGA on it, no HDMI. But I might be selling this. If I don't sell it, I'm going to get a 550 Ti for this rig because it'll be a nice backup rig. But decent motherboard, like the fact that it has graphics on it. So if I sell it, I could just tell this person all you gotta do is just plug your monitor right back into the motherboard. Which, whatever, that's what they would think to do anyway. Moving on, I'm rambling. So, good motherboard. Power supply. What the hell? I think it's a Corsair I have in here. Let's see. OCZ. I have an OCZ 600 watt power supply. It's from my old rig. Just felt more comfortable upgrading to a 750 watt because I got the GTX 570. This could have handled it. Just, I don't know. I wanted more headroom because I'm paranoid, even though I know I didn't need it. In this box is my 560 Ti, which I fried. I'll tell you that, make a long story very short. The Palette GeForce 560 Ti. This is the super clocked edition that's in this box. Don't mind what's on here. And I don't know, maybe they patched it now, but Battlefield 3 for the PC when it first came out did not like working with any kind of overclock card. Didn't matter if it was factory overclocked or user overclocked. So I had to get NVIDIA's tool, forgot the name of it. If you guys know, post it in the description. I just totally forgot. It's not coming to me right now. I had to install that to set the 560 Ti to its standard setting. So I had to actually downclock the card. What the stupid ass software did is didn't make the fans control properly. I didn't do anything to it. So what I did one day, just because I wanted to run a stress test to make sure that Battlefield 3 wasn't running properly due to the fact it was factory overclocked, not there was an issue with the card, I ran Furmark. I went downstairs, actually made coffee, and Furmark, all of a sudden I hear like an alarm, like, you know, a nuclear reactor at a power plant's about to explode. I go back upstairs, my card's overheating. Only did it for like a second, so I'm like, it's probably okay. It wasn't okay. I ran ATI tool later on, came back with artifacts, with the card actually was underclocked, was still coming back with artifacts. I may put it in this rig just to see, maybe, you know, maybe there actually isn't anything wrong. I'll try one more time ATI tool, but probably not. I'll probably just get a 550 Ti. They're like less than $100, and I'll plop it in here if I keep the computer. So anyway, moving on. Patriot memory, this is what I have in there now. It's 16 gigabytes. This is 1600 megahertz. The RAM in here is 1600 megahertz. I think I have G.Skill in here. Let's find out. You would think I would have did this before, but I thought I remembered everything, but I don't. Look at the back. Yep, G.Skill. This is 8 gigabytes, 1600 megahertz. RAM's fine, nothing special about it. It just, I upgraded to double the memory. And then actually, you see, you'll notice it, 16 gigabytes is slightly overkill. But when you're doing video editing, HD video editing, and you're doing kind of like any kind of fades or effects, that's when I notice it's either a mixture of having more RAM and 2 more cores on the processor, or it's just more RAM. I notice that transitions and fades are smoother, and it's easier to edit because you could do more stuff real time. Don't know if it's just a processor, don't know if it's just a RAM or a mixture of both, but whatever. 320 gigabyte, 7200 RPM, Seagate hard drive, nothing special, just had it laying around. Told you about the video card, and here's my quad-core processor. This is the AMD Phenom 2 X4 970. Just I use the box from the 6-core. There's a heatsink in here. I'm not going to use any super special heatsink. There's no reason to. I'm not overclocking anything. This is just a secondary rig. If I keep it, if not, I'm selling it to somebody, and I'm sure because there's a friend of mine, she may buy it. I don't think she's going to get into overclocking anytime soon, so I don't think she's going to need anything else but the stock cooler, and that's pretty much it. Now the case is hood. It's a Black Widow. That is a damn good question. Who the hell made the case? Let me find out. Black Widow Gaming Series, not Gaming Series, to even spell it right. A Cubic Art is the name of the case. I picked it not only because it was only 21 bucks. I'm very into clean cases. I don't like, you know, a spider on the side of it, or, you know, an alien, or, you know, whatever. I don't like the special crap on the case. I couldn't think of anything clever, witty, and funny at the moment. So I like clean. You know, if I was keeping it for myself, this is the kind of case I want. You know, I'm 31. Most of my friends are either in their late 20s or early 30s. I'm sure they don't want an alien or a dragon or whatever on the side of the case. So if I sell it, this is a nice neutral case. You know, I'm building a budget rig anyway. I'm not worried about all the bells and whistles. And if I want to add fans, it has the room to add the fans. So good looking, clean case. I'm just going to put a DVD drive up here. Nothing special, no Blu-ray or anything. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm building a rig out of spare parts. I'm not putting this up on YouTube to say, hey, I'm selling it, because I probably have a buyer. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping she doesn't buy it, kind of, because I want to keep it, because I could have a million reasons to use a backup rig, especially since my computer is my livelihood. And if my other computer shits the bed and needs to be down for repair or for a replacement part, I'll have a backup, and that'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, this is awesome. Can't wait to build it. I gotta put the parts together with this one. I might put up a video of me putting it together, but it's a pain in the ass when you're doing it as a one-man army. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to putting this machine together. Have a good one.